Hi, I'm Adam Drake from Mugen Seiki Racing. Today I'm going to talk about servo saver adjustment, and I'm going to show you the adjustment that I use for buggy as well as the adjustment that I use for truck. So here I have the front clip removed from my MBX8 buggy. First thing I want to point out is the adjustment nut that I have on this vehicle is the older one from the MBX7. So if you have an MBX8, it's going to be more this green color, and it's also going to use a set screw. This is the front clip off my practice car, so that was just one of the parts I didn't convert over. With this adjustment though, you always want to make sure you use a little bit of thread lock on the tube or on the threads of the tube before putting the adjuster nut on. Even on the MBX8, where it uses the clamping nut, I still use a little bit of thread lock just for some additional security. Now, the setting that I use for both buggy and truck is quite a bit tighter than what the manual suggests. And the reason for that is because once all the parts kind of wear in, the adjustment that the manual tells you is a little bit on the soft side. If the servo saver is set too soft, the steering will be kind of really vague around center and just overall not have as much steering. Also, as you're going through the bumps and the tire catches, like especially if it's a sharp bump, the servo saver can deflect and actually the wheels will turn and not the direction that you're actually giving the input for. So a really, really simple, easy way to check your adjustment is just to use a set of digital calipers. And basically what you're measuring is the amount of exposed threads from the end of that nut there. So you can see here 3.52. On buggy, that's pretty much on the loose end for me. I pretty much like to run it between 3.5 and 4 millimeters. I'll just go ahead and check it again just to make sure I have the calipers kind of at the right angle. 3.67. So yeah, I'm kind of in that range where I would normally run it for buggy. And some people will worry, you can't run the servo saver too tight because, you may cause damage to the servos. This is true if you're using a really inexpensive servo or just not kind of a high-end race servo. For me, with the ProTech 170 SBL, that's what I always use for steering in both truck and buggy. I'm able to get away with the adjustment quite a bit more on the tight side. And again, it just gives me more precision and more overall steering. With the truck, because you have the bigger tires, you need to run this adjustment a little bit tighter yet. So for truggy, I'll run it between 4 and 5 millimeters of threads showing. And in some conditions, if it's really, really high bite, I'll even just go ahead and lock it all the way down for truck. You can do this on buggy as well. It is nice just to have a little bit of the servo saver action, just in case if you hit a pipe or clip someone, just to take a little bit of that stress off the servo. But with today's high-end servos, like the servos from ProTech, you can get away with this adjustment being a little bit more on the tight side than what the manual suggests. And again, you're going to just gain overall precision and performance on the track.